Those that I haven't met before, I'm Jock Lawrence. I'm the founder and CEO of Mobble. I founded the company about 8 years ago, and on the family farm, we couldn't find a simple and flexible way to manage our farm and livestock records, so we developed something that could, and since then, it's developed into a product that's much more than that, and it's now used by thousands of farmers across Australia, New Zealand, and increasingly more across the world. And the reason we built Mobble is to make farmers' lives easier and more successful, and that's what we continue to do every single day. I'm building that on back on farmer feedback. And it is my absolute honor to introduce Nick Seymour from Farmo, and to highlight all their water monitoring gear for their farmers and Mobble farmers as well as their other products that they have, how it all works. So Nick, over to you.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Jock, for the opportunity, and hello to of you mobblers. I think you've all made a very smart choice with your platform for your farm management. Yeah, as a background with Farmo, I think we started very similar to Mobble in the sense that we started on the farm, and I had a pretty bad day where I had some heifers pushed through into a laneway with no water in that laneway. And in response to that, we invented this thing. It's called a water rat. This is what we're kind of most famous for originally. And it solves the problem of monitoring troughs, which are kind of a difficult place to put electronics. And at around that time, this was sort of 6 or 7 years ago as well, people were really worried about the complexity and the technology, of ag tech, and was it worth adopting if it was so complex? And I think we got great adoption with the water app because it just throws it in a trough and it just floats around. And that was all you had to do. And then the only information you would get, we describe ourselves as small data, right? We're not into big data. We're into small data that works for you. The only information you would get would be empty and not empty. And because we figure that's all you need to know for a trough. But in actuality, what we found out over time that you also have a timestamp and you also have a GPS location. So you get more than just a simple alert of, go and fix the trough, your cows or your sheep or whatever might be in danger of suffering. You actually get to look back over time and see which troughs are keeping up and which aren't, because your static observation at 9 o'clock in the morning that everything's great is that'll keep the animals alive, but it doesn't tell you that, hey, at 1:30 to 3 p.m. The trough was empty and they're all hanging around waiting for a drink. So what we thought was a tool for really animal welfare and farmer welfare as well in terms of peace of mind actually had a lot of productivity insights, because we soon realized if your animals are standing around waiting for a drink, they're not putting on the kilograms per day that they would be if they had access to free-flowing water. Yeah, so that was the start to Farmo, and then again, similar to Mobble, from customer feedback, we have expanded out the number of things that we monitor, and it's now all of the things that you wish you knew about, but you can't get around to see all the time on the farm. And if they go wrong, they're kind of annoying or costly. Things like, are your tanks full or empty? Is your electric fence running properly or has it got a fault? How much rain did you have at the other block? What was the wind speed and wind direction when I was doing that spraying? Did I remember to record it because I've got to comply? Did I leave that gate open and close? All of these questions, basic questions that you have every day, have been our product development book. And it's such a privilege and a pleasure, I've got to say, to have a job where, we get these great problems, real life problems, and we get to sort of fossick away and try and come up with a product that solves them in a really simple way. One of the annoyances that we heard about a lot from people was, okay, I get this technology now. I've got 5 apps, and then I got 6 apps, and actually, you've probably got 30 apps if you're honest, on your phone. And it was difficult to solve this problem without adding another app. You know, the big aggregator, this extra sort of app you would have that would have everything on it was an idea that was going around the sort of ag tech world 3 or 4 years ago, and it never worked. It never worked because it was just one more thing. And so when Jock came to us a few months ago and said, "Hey, can your development team help out or get together with us with an integration?" Um, and what it would mean would be that the people that get up in the morning and the first thing that they do is look at their Mobble screen, they could with no extra effort also see the data that was coming in from their Farmo sensors. We could put the tank sensor on the screen there in a visual icon. We could put the water rate on the. You could put your rain gauge. It just makes so much sense. Something like this, which is technically feasible, if you've got, me and Jock obviously have people much smarter than ourselves, actually doing these things. But we know we know the benefits of it. Like to see what you need to see on one screen is just for us. It just takes away another barrier. So we're really super happy to do it, especially with Mobble, who's got such a great relationship with their customers. That is really impressive, I have to say. And the people behind the scene, to give them credit, they have worked really hard on both sides for the last couple of months, and you won't notice that at all. All you will simply follow the simple process that Jock's put in place, and the next day you'll see it on the screen, and that's it. Yeah, so that's what's been happening. We hope over time, some of you guys might even buy some Farmo stuff if you don't have it already. We've got quite a few people who are both Farmo and Mobble customers that are taking advantage of the integration pretty much from day one. Hopefully some of you guys, if you've never heard of Farmo or have seen Farmo, will jump on our website, and I'll take you a bit of a sort of drive through that in a second. And if you are wanting to, monitor your water flow or your tank levels, yeah, you'll have a look at our gear. We've always imagined that our customer has been working all day and might be sort of sitting down after dinner looking on the website at the sensors that he or she might need, and kind of want to know that night how much they were, what they were paying for, how long it would take to get delivered, and how they would be installed. And they'd sort of want to know all of that stuff that evening, rather than, here's a number you can call tomorrow, or here's an email somewhere. So you'll see on our website, we really have focused on that. Everything should be really clear. Most of our sensors are about $600, and this is in Aussie dollars and includes GST. And most of our sensors are about $10 a month. And we don't bundle things together and have like an octopus that's measuring 10 different things. We've tried to learn as we've gone along that the fewer points of failure that you have is better for technology in general. Don't make things more expensive than they need to be. And if someone wants 2 or 3 things, let them buy 2 and then buy the third one later. Okay, so that's why you'll see, for us, you'll buy a water tank, it'll be $600 and $10 a month. You want to buy 2? Well, there's another $600 and $10 a month. You want to go buy a gate sensor? Yeah, that's $500. So it's very incremental. It's designed to add on as you need it, because you're often making these purchasing decisions at the time at which you know the least amount about the technology you're purchasing. So what we've always felt is learn, like if you can just get in with a company's technology and try it for a little bit and learn a little bit more before you do the massive sort of capital investment, that we think that's a better way to do it. So we've generally made our website and everything, designed it to facilitate that kind of purchasing pathway. Now, you've been looking at my head for a little bit, which is, I'm sure, a pretty hard thing to do. So I'm going to share my screen and just show you a little bit of little bit of Farmo. I'll show you the Farmo website. And I think I can do that really quickly. What's it going to? It's going to come up with something else immediately, but I've got to go. You are sharing this screen. Perfect. Okay. Let's go to our homepage. And so if you ever get the time, farmo.com.au, you'll see a bit of the promotional video and everything there. One of the things, all our products are here under the shop products. The product we do mostly, as I said before, is the water rat. And there is a little video here, which I'll only run for as long as it takes to show. There we go. That's the installation. You'll see we've got other things like very simple rain gauges. They don't have to be complicated rain gauges. And so that's our rain gauge. And if I'm just going to show you an example of one more thing, it's going to be this smart plug, because this is something that has emerged a lot over the last year or so. We do a lot of monitoring of things, and that's great. But the next part of it is, what can we control and what can we automate? Now you have that data in the cloud. So I think almost from nothing to about a third of our sales now involve the control and automation of something, whether that be a pump, or it's really any machine that you can plug in to a power point or get powered can be controlled through the Farmo app from another sensor. Some examples might be turning on an irrigator at certain times, or turning it off if it's raining. It might also be you might have one of these so you can turn on the pie oven at the footy club or something like that, so you don't have to go up there early. The user case is unlimited. I'll show you a little bit. If the idea is, if you integrate with Farmo and Mobble, you don't really need to go and use the Farmo app that much, but we expect pretty much every day you'll get up and look at Mobble. But if you do need to go back to configure a device or something like that, or set your alerts, it's always going to be there in the background for you to fall back to. So you don't lose anything at all by the integration. You just get the best of both worlds, and you choose where you want to spend most of your time. You can use the Mobble app. You can use the Mobble dashboard every single day, and you might decide to go to the Farmo app because you want to print out some reports or schedule some reports every Sunday night or something like that, which will come through as a PDF. All that remains accessible and available to the people that have the integration. I'll go quickly through our plans and our pricing, because I've promised transparency. So you'll have a look here. We have a water rat is $8 a month. The standard plan is $10 a month. That is most sensors. Then we have some sensors which use a little bit more data because they're always connected, or a weather station will report every 10 minutes. So that's a little bit more expensive. And then we have the optional extras. You'll see here, free AgriWeb, free Mobble. So we're agnostic, actually. We embrace everyone. You get volume discounts. As you buy more, it goes down. And that is pretty much it. I don't want to go on too much more about Farmo, other than to say we're very proud to be associated with Mobble. We hope some of you guys find us an attractive sort of sensor supplier, and whenever you want to, just follow the instructions and we will make sure the integration happens seamlessly. Yeah. Is there anything else, Jock, or do you think that's enough?
Nick, that was fantastic. We leave it to
Okay.
the people on the chat to ask questions as well. But I think yeah, we've always loved Farmo and what Nick has built with his team. I think from our perspective, it's got one of the best. I know we've got integration. It's got one of the best native apps, one of the best apps in the business and alerts systems. It's affordable and reliable, so I'd recommend anyone have a look for for your IoT solution. So. Please go check them out. We love what they're doing, and that sort of takes me into mobile land. So I'm gonna give a quick demo of mobile property, but before I do that, I might give a demo of how the integration works, seeing how that's relevant right now. Can everyone see my screen? Okay.
Yep.
Right. This is the family farm in North Central Vic. But I'm gonna switch across to a demo farm that we've got set up with some Farmo sensors in it. So for modelers wanting to get the integration going, they can go to the integrations page here, scroll down to Farmo and connect, and within 24 hours, the Farmo team will make sure the data's coming across. Nice and simple. Um, Now I'll show you what that looks like. So we go to the Farmo demo property and go to the maps page, and I zoom into this little property here that we've built just this morning. And these little icons here are Farmo sensors out in the paddock, and that comes alongside all your livestock information and all your farm information on Mobble here too. So you can come straight in here and you can quickly get a reading on understand if your electric fence has got any faults. For example, you can see if your tank is full or if it's empty or if it's 50% needs to pump some more water in it. And you can go into there and actually get more detailed information of that information over time. If you want more information, you go back to than we offer. You go back to the Farmo app. It's the best thing to do. So you go back to the Farmo app, and they have more detailed information there. Rain gauge and also of course their water rat product, which is so simple. We love it. And they've done some smart things here, Farmo. So when this water rat falls over, it shows up in red with a little icon fallen over. And when your electric fence is not working, it'll show up in red. So it's really visual, really quick and easy to see the data you want to see with the integration flowing. So you move your cattle into this paddock and you can see the electric fence is working and you go, sweet. Good to go. So yeah, we love the integration and we think it looks good and it's great to get all these sensors within the mobile product. All right, back to Mobble. I'll go back to um, the old man's place. This is my brothers, my two brothers, my dad, mum, a worker, all sort of work on this place while I'm doing my thing in tech. But love heading back home and love demoing the place. So we're a merino operation with a first cross fat lamb and a second cross Pole Dorset fat lamb as well. Yeah, for the cattle people in the room, we also used to be Murray Grey stud, so had some cattle in there too. And I will say Mobble works extremely well across all different livestock types, especially cattle, station country cattle, high rainfall area cattle and sheep, and yes, and just your general sheep and mixed farming enterprises as well. We're covering a lot of record keeping across all those worlds, and we do have companies using it with deer and all kinds of different livestock types as well. So yeah, it's very versatile, works in all different areas really well, and we're solving problems for farmers in different ways depending on your operation. So Mobile it has two apps, right? So we've got the web application, which I'm showing you right now on the computer, and then it has the app on your phone. The app on your phone is the one you're using every single day. So you're out in the paddock. This is the one that works offline. You're updating records on the fly, like moving mobs across and making sure that mob gets moved or drenched and those sort of things. And then maybe you'll come back to the web app to do some more reporting, get some more reports, download some information, or just have a bigger screen and play around in the evening times as well and update your records there. But they work very similar. So I'll show you the web app because it's a bigger screen, much easier for the Zoom demo. So I'll show you this and yeah, what I'm showing you here works pretty much alongside how it works in the mobile app as well. So there's a few different ways to visualize the property. We've got dashboards and your paddock list, mob list, and your map. Most people will come to the map as their central place to get their information. And we're recording information on your livestock and your paddocks and your property all over time. So, and we're sort of trying to show that information in a way that helps you guys make better decisions, but also just communicate the information to other people on the farm really clearly and really well. So when it comes to the farm map, you can really map out anything on the farm. So you can see my brother here has mapped out the Middo track that goes out over the Granite Hills. And all your paddocks, obviously map your livestock in, and any sort of infrastructure you can map in there too, and have that in there. The beauty of it is if you have new employees or contractors that come on board every now and then, you can invite them to the mobile map. They can have view only access, and they can see the GPS location and have that full map view whenever they want. So you can invite people like spray contractors, your farm advisor, and they will have an updated version of your property in real time, and it's very easy to get, show them around. I'll start with livestock management stuff. So Mobble, yeah, we're very focused on the livestock side, mob records. And so we're recording a bunch of information on livestock, things like your movements, and if I select a mob here, um, things like, so in a mob action, recording things like all your compliance records, so drench actions, spray, sort of backlining actions, any weaning actions, all those sort of things in here, and we can attach products to that. So we have a live inventory in our list here, and the inventory tracks product usage over time, so you can see how much you're using and get an understanding of, say, how much VetMec Dual you used over a 12-month period, and it attaches it to the mob, and it stays in that mob's history forever, and the property's history. And we have some great summaries on all those records you're creating, so you can get quick access to that information. Most things as well, if you're recording information on a mob, you can also add files to those records as well. So you can take a photo if it's something like you've done some condition scoring of some livestock. You can take a photo of that mob and store it in there too, and get quick access to those photos or files and stuff. So you can add files throughout the app. There's heaps of different use cases for that, but just highlighting that. And yeah, so keep on there. So yeah, I can click into a mob here and view the mob here, and get some more information. But this is the complete history forever. Anything that's ever happened to that mob, going back to the start of time, um, when they started using the app. Um, One thing that we're doing with livestock is we're doing grazing records. So we're understanding how long paddocks have been grazed for and how long they've been rested for over time. So there's lots of set stocking in this part of the property. And then so your DSE per hectare and also your rolling DSE average per hectare or acre in this example over time there. So like in a mob on a paddock, we can record information. We can do spray records on there and attach that to products. Put in offer readings, anything like that. And I can go into a paddock and get more info, get the full paddock history, more information around days grazed and your rolling stocking rates over time. And you also get things like these nice graphs over time too, where we can get some more information on your average DSE per acre, for example. Yeah, going back forever. Um, so I've sort of covered a few things around compliance, but we're for your LPA and JBS audits and NFAP as well, EU, all these different compliance regulatory bodies. We're helping farmers record a lot of information, like inventory management, treatments on livestock and paddocks, withholding periods, batch numbers, all those sort of things within the system. So yeah, for most reports from most farmers, they have pretty smooth auditing experiences. They open up the app and get the records that they need to show without needing to print anything off. And auditors are really happy to see that farmers are recording things in a way that's pretty solid compared to the old pen and paper there as well. I've touched on inventory management. I will note that one of the beauties of Mobile, it's like what we pride ourselves on is it's simple and easy to use in everything that we do, and it's quite customizable in the way that farmers can set it up. So anything that you see here with the naming conventions like these classes. You can make custom classes. So if you have a different way, we have a top line of use and a bottom line of use. But some people might want to class their livestock in different ways. They might want to class in heavies and lights, or they might want to class as they come from Jono's property, anything. So you can class it any way you like, the mobs any way you like. It's quite customizable in that way. And the settings are all quite customizable as well in what you record. And then we just report on top of those classes over time. And it's quite powerful that way. You can really get information that's really relevant to your operation, um, like that. Um, I'll touch on team management stuff. So we have my brothers on here, my mum, my dad, a worker. They all have access to this. They're all updating records on the fly. Um, and we also do add people that are third parties. So we add contractors to this, like spraying contractors. So we give them a job out in the paddock. They can see the GPS location and get it out there and do those jobs. We add our accountant to it. So we have a livestock reconciliation report here that the accountant can have access to. And sales and purchase records as well, natural increases and casualties as well. All those can be recorded here quite easily. There's a report casualty, sale mob. You can attach files to all those as well. But yeah, so you can give access, and there's different. So accountants get a different view from a admin, for example. They just can see sales and livestock rec reports and stuff like that. Your contractors only get a view-only map. That's it. So they can't touch anything or change any records. So it's all very safe, but it's really powerful when you can add your other people that are connected to the farm and helping the farm move forward as well. Um, Other little things, we're recording things like rainfall, but if you've got Farmo, we might have an auto rain gauge on the mobile map already. And then we've got beautiful summaries of, say, all your files and places to store files like EID records as well. And then summaries on every single record that you're putting in there. Um, and yeah, I can show you. This is so these loose home paddocks have got a withhold on them at the moment. They're showing in red. And if I go to paddock info here, I'll be able to see there's got 2 days remaining within withhold, so I can't graze this paddock, and I'll be able to see which spraying action caused that as well. So yeah, stuff like that's really easy to get your fingers on that information. It's got a really good task management system in there that we're improving later this year as well. So you can put geolocation tasks on the map, which is nice and clear for people to follow. Also, there's a task list where people can tick things off as well and assign it to different people and you get notifications if you're assigned to a task or on a due date and stuff like that. Covering a lot of that ground pretty quick. Now, one of the last things I wanna touch on is reporting. So we've released a new feature recently that highlights all property movements. So if you've got multiple properties on Mobble, and this is yeah, it's really important for like livestock reconciliation. We have this property movements report. So we have a couple of properties that we move livestock between. And over the last 12 months, this report showing me the last 12 months, these are the mobs that have moved between those properties. And and they create a record. You can also add things like files if you need to add an MVD to that, or anything like that. You can add that information there too. So this is all a relatively new feature, but it's just easy to reconcile and understand the flow of livestock between properties. So that's something we released just this month, along with the Farmo integration. Other thing we released just this month, or just last month, sorry, was the improvements to the livestock reconciliation report. So if you go to this report here, you can see our historic livestock totals and things like your DSE or your LSU or AE, depending on the stocking unit you use. You can change the stocking unit in the settings. We pump out this big livestock reconciliation report, and you can go, say, last financial year, and it'll give you a report on every single class and category of livestock, their starting head, their closing head, and any reason that things have changed over that time. So natural increases, purchases, casualties sold, and then the recent addition is the property movements in and out. And we also have this other category which we've just added because things are never 100% on farm and numbers go missing and stuff like that. We edit mobs and there is this other category here for unexplained reasons. If you and also for upgrades and downgrades of mobs, so when they go from say a lamb to a ewe or a wether, or a calf to a steer, for example. This breaks down even further. We can break it down into we do pregnancy testing on farm and class sheep into singles and twins and dries and lates and things, and we can get a breakdown um, of those records here as well, in other places as well, and age groups as well. So it depends what information you're after, but there's a lot you can find in the livestock rec, but it's just one way to view that information. So I thought I'd highlight those two reports just because they've got some changes to them recently. You can add multiple properties there. Um, so yeah, I think I've sort of taken you through most things I wanted to today. But yeah, for people that are looking to change their units around back to hectares, or um, if you're in Northern Australia and use AE or LSU for cattle, it's very easy to change those units here and then have them reflected instantly within, yeah, within the software. All right, I think I've sort of covered everything, and yeah, let's open it up to any questions.
There weren't any questions coming through on the chat, but if anyone has a question for Nick or Jock or about the integration or otherwise, feel free to unmute yourself or drop into the chat.
Yeah, feel free. I have a question for you, Nick. Actually, we've got a I don't know if you guys can solve this one yet. Not for us. It'll probably be a tough one. We have a tank on our place that needs refilling via a pump um,
Mhm.
quite regularly. Well, not well, especially in summer because that feeds down to our troughs. Is there a way that you can automate so when the tank goes down to say 20% that you can auto turn the pump on for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So first part, you need is a tank monitor, and so then in the cloud, you've got all of those tank levels available. And then in terms of controlling your pump, there's a couple of options. And as you know, there are so many pumps: single phase, three phase. You'll have pumps that have a really basic controller, pumps that have a more complicated controller, pumps coming off a VSD. You just need to work out what your situation is. At the very most basic level, this is the DIY with no electrician or anything needed to call out. Let's say you've got a single phase 240-volt pump plugged into a power point. You plug our smart plug into the power point, and then you plug your pump into that smart plug. So now that plug is IoT enabled, and you go to the Farmo app and you go, okay, I want to choose the link mode, and you'll drop down from the list the tank, the tank in question, and you'll go start the pump when it's at 70, stop it when it's at 95, save, and then it's done. And then yeah, so yeah, these things, but they become very very simple once you've got this data in the cloud. Now the complication is some pumps won't be like that. They'll be hardwired into a switchboard, right? So you've just got power going directly to a pump, and it might not have a great controller. We have in those situations, you might get the electrician to put a contactor on your power board, and that contactor, okay, is controlled by a 24-volt DC coil. And we have this little thing called an IoT switch. It's a cut down version of the smart plug. It just has two wires coming out. So those two wires just control the contactor, which controls the actual power to that pump. So yeah, so it's possible, but as you know, so many different pumps. Got to be flexible in the solution.
No more driving up top of the hill, turn the pump on. Sounds good.
Yes, very, very annoying after, yeah, we do hear that. Yeah.
Nick, this might be a nice, easy question for you. It's from Claire, and she wants to know if tank monitors will be able to be integrated.
100%. Yep, tank monitors are there. And I think we saw a little bit of a picture of a tank monitor on Jock's screen at some time.
Yeah.
And the thing we do with the tank monitor, as to keep this visually simple but informative, we don't put the number there of 96% or 37%, but you'll notice we have 5 icons from very full to very empty. That icon, okay, so see those two there? The actual real data of that bottom tank, of the top tank,
That's cool.
it'll be between 80 and 100%, right? And the bottom one, the bottom one will actually be between, 30 and 50%.
Let's see if he's right. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, 49.5. Got
there
it.
you go.
Yeah,
Did
cool.
that answer your question, Claire? Do you have any follow-on questions to that one? Feel free to jump on. That was a great demo of that, you two. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
Nick,
didn't,
well,
I
that
didn't even
can
know
you
that
get
one.
that
So
to?
thanks. Sorry, what was that? Sorry, I missed that.
Hey, sorry, Nick. Can you get it to flag at a certain percentage? Like, say it's at 20%, it'll flag to you that it's it's getting low.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they've set up the integration, the technical guys, but it is definitely possible in other integrations we've done that on the app, or either in the app or through the Mobble screen, you set your alert level points, right?
Yep.
So you set your 30%, and that's when that icon will change from the different blues to the suddenly with a red circle around it.
Yep. No,
Yeah.
that'd be good.
Jock probably knows that better than me. I mean, I'm
I
pretty
don't,
sure.
yeah, I don't think we've got the alert thing in Mobble yet, but maybe it's something that's good feedback we can take on board and improve the integration on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But is that in the Farmo app, you should be able to have an alert that notifies you as well?
Oh, no, definitely in the Farmo app, you can set, your the levels at which you'll get a text message or an email. Okay.
Yeah, cool.
And in the Farmo app, we have the icons changing from, to a different color when they're in the alert state. And we have done it before. I'm pretty sure if it's not in the first iteration, it'll be in the second iteration on the Mobble screen as well.
Great.
Perfect. Thank you.
I'm mindful of time. If there's any last questions, jump on. Best way to get in contact with Farmo, Nick, just through the Farmo website.
Yeah. We've got way too many ways of getting in contact, too many streams of information. But if you go to the farmo.com.au, there's a chat box there. There's help@farmo.com.au. If you're in Australia, there's 1300 540 300. And if, hopefully you get bombarded on your Facebook and your Instagram too by Farmo stuff, you can reply to as well.
Brilliant. And
Nice.
likewise with Mobble, yeah, if you're not on Mobble, it's I'll drop our website in there. We do these webinars every month. Sometimes with guest speakers, sometimes it's just a Mobble demo and new features. But yeah, Nick, that was awesome. We're thrilled. We're so excited to have this the Farmo integration live, and it was great. Yeah, it's been a long. You joined a webinar with us a year ago, I think, and we were talking about it then, and now it's all live, so it's exciting.
That's it. Mobble does what they says they're going to do, what they say they're going to do. That's what we like. Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, everyone, for joining.